Okay, let's do this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports in association with Round for Round Boxing Game, www.roundforroundboxing.com, and in association with Three Kings Boxing, www.threekingsboxing.com. For all your boxing news and latest breaking news, check out threekingsboxing.com. And also the latest boxing game to come out, currently in development, Round for Round Boxing. If you want to know all the fighters that have been signed currently for Round Boxing, just check out our Round for Round Boxing playlist. We are the official channel for Round Boxing on YouTube. So Round for Round Boxing will be coming out on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. In the background at the moment, I've got Mike Tyson boxing against a white guy. I don't know who the guy is. I'm seeing Mike Tyson, a young Mike Tyson at the moment. White trunks. I don't know. Mostly quite young in his career. They're showing this on BT Sports. Right. We're going to be talking about another Tyson Fury. We're going to be talking in depth about him and what the future holds for Mr. Fury. I'm sure there's people in this room who've got plenty to say about what happened tonight. But let's see. Let's start talking. I always use this picture. This is the picture. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, universal gods, kings and queens. This picture right here between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is a beautiful picture. It's a wonderful picture. And I can officially say to you now, this fight is not going to happen. See this picture right here? That fight will never happen. That fight. That Tyson Fury who just come off a Klitschko win, that Deontay Wilder. That fight will not happen. For tonight, it's not about me and my face. It's about these two, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That fight, well, that picture won't happen. It's historical. The fight that never happened. At that point in time, when Tyson had beaten Klitschko, was that win overrated? Nobody ever know. We'll never know. Would Tyson have beaten Klitschko in a rematch? Nobody would ever know. Why didn't Tyson fight Klitschko in a rematch? Nobody knows. What we do know is that Tyson then fell apart, and we all know the rest of his story. And now he's back 3 years on. And as I've said to many people over and over and over, and sometimes I'll repeat myself, that Tyson is gone. What we do have now in 2018 is, I'm going to call it for what it is. We have a shell of the man that fought Vladimir Klitschko, and I'm going to say that. Tonight against Pianeta, we wanted to see improvement. So we saw him lose weight. Great. We saw him coming to fight the ring with fighting weight, better fighting weight. But really, I mean, Tyson still had the nice hand speed, the combinations, working from body to head, beautiful working on the inside. Some real, there's no doubt Tyson he's got spots of class about him, real world class. The way he puts his punches together, the way he works from body to head, the way he's able to work inside for such a big man. There's some beautiful things Tyson does. The way he switches from orthodox to southpaw, and the way he used to gracefully move around the ring. Now in 2018, we've got a guy who doesn't move around the ring as smoothly as he once did. Now, whether that's to do with his trainer, his training regime, I don't know. But this is the second fight now we've seen Tyson Fury not look impressive. We saw him against Safa Safiri. His punching power didn't look great then. We've now seen him again against now a guy that got stopped 7 months ago by Kevin Johnson. So, people have got some serious question marks as to, what this Tyson Fury can do. I've heard some stories. I've heard people say a few things. Now, this is some of the things some people have said so far. Is Tyson Fury making himself look crap, so that he leads Fury and Wilder into false sense of security. No, I don't believe that crap for 1 second. I believe if a guy can be sensational, he'll be sensational. If he's been told to box under instructions. But I saw Tyson hit Pianeta with some cracking shots, uppercut on the inside, some real class shots. And Pianeta didn't look like he was severely hurt at all. He didn't. And looking at the fight with Pianeta, Tyson Fury looked like a shadow of his own self. In fact, he looked like a guy who was trying to remember the lines of A Great Night many years ago. It looked bad. It looked like one of these guys that come back after like a 10-year layoff and was like George Foreman coming back after 10 years out of the ring. That's how bad it looked. That shows you how sharp Tyson was when he fought Klitschko, right? I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm not going to sit here and give people breaks because they want me to say something nice and positive and sweet. And that's the problem with Tyson Fury in his corner. I don't know, is there anybody in his corner that's going to tell him, look, mate, you ain't ready for Wilder. You ain't ready for Wilder. You may have the skills to beat Wilder. You may have the skills to beat him, but you ain't ready. You ain't ready, bro. You need to be fighting. You need 2 or 3 more fights. You're undercooked. When you have a lot of yes people in your corner and you're allowed to just do what you want when you like how you feel, they're not telling you the truth about yourself. So, boxing is one of these sports where you can lie to yourself and the people around you can lie. But when you get in the ring, fans can't talk for you. Keyboard warriors can't fight for you. Bottom line is you got to fight, and Tyson will have to fight. And there's a difference. For me, if you're going to fight Deontay Wilder, you see this guy here with Tyson Fury and that Deontay Wilder there, that's a guy who stood a very good chance of beating Deontay Wilder. That guy there, but he still would have had a hard fight. That guy right there, the Tyson Fury that was looking at Deontay Wilder. He was on top of the world. He had Peter Fury in his corner. Things were together. That was right. It was there. He was in good shape. Remember how he was in how much weight he weighed when he was with Joey Abel, and then he brought himself down in weight. He went for that run. Joey Abel, Christian Hammer, Derek Chisora. Then he went on and fought Vladimir Klitschko. I don't. And people are saying now, they're suggesting, oh, well, between now and November, if the fight's in November, December, are you realistically telling me? Are you telling me some of you guys, I swear, must believe in real magic, because between now and December, Tyson's going to become more coordinated. He's going to be more sharper, and he's going to do the same stuff he's doing at the moment. Tyson's going to do the same things he's been doing at the moment in the fight against Deontay Wilder. Same things. Moving from left to right, switching from orthodox to southpaw, jab, 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 move. You show me where Tyson's looked any different. The 2 fights that he's had, he's not looked impressive. He's just not looked impressive. He's not looked sharp. He's lost weight. Whoopie-doo-dah. When you're constantly talking about a person's weight rather than their boxing skills, there's a problem. There's a problem, okay? And I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, well, you don't hear Floyd Mayweather complain about weight. These guys are in shape. Joshua's always in shape. Deontay Wilder's always in shape. That's what it is being a professional, right? So I don't hear excuses about, oh, well, he did it to himself. No excuses. No excuses, right? So, he's going in against Deontay Wilder, seriously undercooked. And for all you people now that are pushing for Tyson Fury to take this fight against Wilder because you want a bit of entertainment, you'd be far more entertained if you had the man who was the linear champion of the world ready to fight, in fighting shape and ready to fight. Tyson needs at least 2 fights. I told you all that. You ain't listening to me. When I told you about the Dillian White fight of Anthony Joshua, I told you the man weren't fit and the man was injured going into that fight. You're all pushing. Yeah. Get this fight. I told you the man ain't ready. I told you about Luis Ortiz before Luis Ortiz fought Deontay Wilder. He was out a year, and then he was going to fight Danny Mares. And they was it was a great knockout. Ortiz looked great against Mares. I said, Mares is you don't come back and fight Mares to prepare for Deontay Wilder after having a year out. I told you all that, and you all don't listen. And you're doing the same crap again with Tyson Fury. It don't matter the person's name. It don't matter their nationality. It don't matter their lineage. It does not matter, right? There's some things. Boxing gods are unforgiving. They are unforgiving. If you don't put the work in, if you don't get your tactics right, if you don't pull your head out of the way of punches, if you move back in straight lines, do you know what I mean? If you lose concentration, you will get knocked out, and that is that. So there ain't none of this business of, I'm just telling you hard facts, that there is no avoiding the situation. Fury looked as slow as shit tonight. You're thinking about getting in the ring with potentially one of the fastest heavyweights. Fury looked quick against Pianeta, but Pianeta is just a big lump. Truth be said, Pianeta is a big lump who can't punch and moves in straight lines and is not 215 pounds. Wilder coming between 215 220 pounds. He's light, he's fast, and he punches like a mule, right? He punches like a mule. And all you lot will turn around and say to you now, oh, well, you ain't fought no one. Wilder's only fought bums. Ortiz is an old man. The same people who said Luis Ortiz is the most dangerous man on the planet, the same man is the same man now who's considered a bum. You'll want to push for this fight. If I'm Tyson Fury, I twist an ankle. I break a leg. I do something, but I get out of that fight. Right? And then when I'm sure I'm in right condition, I take the fight against Deontay Wilder. But now is not the time for the fight. You can see it for yourselves. I mean, can you not see how the guys performed tonight? That is not a guy that's acting. That is a guy, that's the best that guy could give. That's the best Fury could give. At no point in time did he hit Pianeta. If he hit Pianeta with a shot and gone, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he hurt him. He really hurt him there. This is a guy, Pianeta, had been stopped by Kevin Johnson, who's not noticed as a big puncher. He fought 5'11" Safa Fury, all right? Who's a damn cruiserweight at 40 years old. At no point in Tyson look he's knocking Safa Fury out. Man, listen. Are you comparing a man at 18.5 stone speed to a man that's 15 and almost 16 stone? Are you comparing him? Wilder's 215 pounds. Are you comparing the two? Listen, Wilder would have fought plenty of guys like Fury in terms of size, but there's nowhere on Fury's resume that he's fought anybody that's as fast and athletic. Fury looks athletic against guys that are non-athletic. And Vladimir Klitschko, everyone keeps talking about Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko's punching style is non-committal. He's non-committal. When Klitschko tries to hit you, he's running out the back door. When Wilder hits you, he's looking to put his fist right through you. He's looking to put his head right. He's looking to put his fist right through your skull and see his hand going through the other side. That's the Bruce Lee technique of punching through the target. Klitschko's to punch at the target. And when Klitschko's punching at the target, he's looking at the back door. He's looking to prevent himself getting hit. That was the style Klitschko had to prevent him getting knocked out. Two totally different fighters. This version of Tyson Fury, under the tutelage of Ben Davison, this is the second fight that Tyson's looked. For all the mitt work he's done, he still didn't look sharp. For all the pad work and all that stuff you saw him do, Pianeta still was able to nail the left, landing with the left hand on more than one occasion. And for the person who got on Twitter to me and said to me, Ingram, Tyson's going to win the fight 12-0. It'll be unanimous point decision and Wilder won't touch him. If Pianeta's touching him, Just imagine what Wilder's going to do to him. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not saying to you now that Tyson Fury hasn't got the ability to beat Wilder. I'm not saying that for 1 second. What I am saying is, for him to be at his optimum best, he needs another 2 to 3 fights. You do not come out for a 3-year layoff, fight a blown up cruiserweight and a guy in Pianeta who has very poor output of punches. Then you're going to go and fight a guy who's 215 pounds and is pound for pound one of the greatest punchers in heavyweight boxing. Period. We're not talking about a pound. This guy is period. We're talking here. We're not talking like Golovkin is made up punching power. As soon as he fights somebody decent, the guys don't fall over anymore. We'll talk about real punching power. We're talking about Julian Jackson punching power. Or sort of punch when he hits you, you stay hit. This guy is a pound for pound great puncher. Joshua's not a pound for pound great puncher. You look at Joshua's victories. A lot of the punches, he's bundled up with 4 or 5 punches on the ropes and the referee's stopping the fight. You look at Wilder, he's hitting you, he's going straight through you and you ain't getting up. So you can talk about windmill all you want. This guy is a genuine, bona fide Olympic bronze medalist. Not handed to him on a plate, not beaten in the first round. A genuine Olympic bronze medalist. And he beat the bogeyman that Joshua didn't want to fight. If it was so old, why didn't Joshua fight him? Ortiz. I don't get it. Don't understand it. You all won't give him credit. So now, the thing is, when you don't give a fighter credit, and then your fighter turns up to fight him, just remember, if you're saying that Tyson Fury has fought nobody, just remember, when he fights Wilder, and if Wilder wins, then just remember, Wilder beat Fury, and Wilder ain't beat nobody. Just remember that. And if you call Wilder a bum, just remember, you can call Tyson Fury a bum as well. Just remember that. Just remember that. All these things you need to consider, and remember these things. So whatever you say, whatever crap you're saying now about this person's a bum and that person's a bum, just remember those words. Remember those words. So I'm not calling these 2 guys elite fighters, but I want to see the best fight possible. The best fight possible between Fury and Wilder. And we are not getting the best fight possible in November, December. That's my point. We're not getting the best. I'm just watching now clips here of Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. I mean, people are talking about, we were talking about how Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, fighting Larry Holmes. We all know how that ended up. Let's see what people are saying here. I'm going to hear what people say in the room now. Come on, dude. Is it possible with your inside knowledge that Tyson will ever go back to Peter? Listen. It's none of my business to talk about. What goes on behind closed doors and family is what happens behind closed doors and family. It's not my business. I'm just watching my poor Muhammad Ali take an awful beating here by Larry Holmes. Terrible. Billy looked shit under Ben, and Tyson looked equally as bad under him. Needs to go back to Peter. To the point says, boom. Boo, says Maradona. Ingram, where are you? I can't see you. The dad thinks Wilder doesn't want the fight. Really? Wilder is licking his lips at that fight. Believe me, he can't wait. I'm fed up of this, says Maradona. Will the fight be this year in December? Yeah, I believe so. November, December, they're saying, in New York or Las Vegas. I think the fight should be in Vegas, personally. Love to see the fight in Vegas. It's going down. Now, December to be confirmed this week. Well, that gives See, when Wilder gets ready, he's going to go into camp to prepare for Fury. I hope Fury's able to get into camp to prepare for Wilder and not preparing to lose weight further. Because if the last two camps about him losing weight, then I don't know. I'm watching Larry Holmes beat up on poor Muhammad Ali. It's a shame. That's what happens when you shouldn't be in the ring no more. Damn, man. To the point. It's Chris. Chris, good to see you in the room. He looks confused, mate, and doesn't even know what shots to throw. Good to see you in the room, Chris. Yeah, it's quite bad, isn't it? Thanks, Mick. Seems a little short, to be honest. Footwork, free footwork and skills not as good without Peter. He will fail. He will fail. And Smith says, I wouldn't be surprised with February in 2019. Hopefully in December, though. He did well. Let's give Fury a break. He's come back. I'm sorry. I'm not dealing with. But I'm sorry. Sorry. He got his credit coming back when he fought Safari. No more of that shit. Move on. They are blowing smoke up his ass. Of course they're blowing smoke up his ass. Can you hear what Ben was saying into him? I ain't got no idea. I had the volume down anyway. Losing the amount of weight in that space of time is unhealthy. It sounds impressive, but it really isn't. There you go. Truth be said. Fury should have tried to get a KO. I think we know he can box. I'll watch him box Wilder for 12 rounds, but the last two fights were impressive. There we go. Ben is happy to get paid and the trainer of someone famous. That's why Fury will not be prepared. That's my point. At Dave, listen, he was saying slip and slide and go to the body. Right. Okay. I'm watching old man Muhammad Ali taking a run. Oh my God. Terrible to watch. Ali, out of prime Ali with a moustache, doing a run. Just watching Ali. This is Ali versus Larry Holmes documentary. Tyson punch had no pop. He looked like he was throwing punches underwater. He's going to get hurt badly by Wilder. That's what I'm saying. John Fury didn't want to speak on Peter Fury when asked by NS from boxing. Yeah, well, he's not going to. I'm not surprised either. You're blowing smoke up. Smoke. Ricky Hatton, Asgard, Big John, Ben, Billy Joe, all should be putting him back. Needs more fights. No, because they're all getting a cutter in it. They're getting some money in it. So what if I know this guy going to America is going to get me $1 million? Well, what am I going to say anything for? That's it. It's all about money. That's all it's about. Even when Fury was linear heavyweight champion, he was no match for this Deontay Wilder right now. Well, look, that's what I said. That Fury, that Fury in that picture you've got there, I said that fight, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to happen. And that would have been a better fight for Deontay Wilder than the Fury we've got now. That Fury may have been able to get himself out of trouble. But again, it don't make a difference. Right hands on the chin is what it's about. Now watching Muhammad Ali fight Leon Spinks. This might have been fighting Leon Spinks. Tyson needs the magic that he said Cunningham needed to beat him. LOL, I remember Cunningham's trainer saying, I'm Muslim, we don't believe in magic. Fury could still beat Joshua on points, I think, but Wilder is dangerous. You can't avoid him for 12 rounds. Fury ain't beating no Joshua. Fury is not beating Joshua, I'm sorry. He's not beating Joshua. Not like that. Sorry. Not beating Joshua. Hay was paid by BT and Fury was drinking Coca-Cola. Fury is carrying flag. You could see it vibrate as he moved. I agree with you there, Maradona. Fury will retire again after getting knocked out by Wilder. Wilder's licking his fist. Yeah, I'd be if I was to. Fury is lightning fast and is absolutely huge. He is a good fighting man, 100%. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Wilder beats this version of Fury and comfortably, and Wilder is technically poor. Technically poor. Well, he wasn't technically poor against Luis Ortiz. You see, this is my sticking point. This is my problem I've got here, Chris. Either Luis Ortiz is technically poorer than Deontay Wilder, or you have to start giving Wilder credit for his technique. Because for him to land that right hand on Luis Ortiz against a southpaw takes some technique. To line up the left jab and land the right hand on a number of occasions, that jab and that right hand, the reason why half the time people don't see the right hand is because of the left jab. It's a science behind this sport. And for me, when you do it against Luis Ortiz, a man that nobody else wanted to fight in the division, the great Hercules, AJ did not want to fight Ortiz. Tyson Fury had no interest in fighting Luis Ortiz. And Deontay Wilder went and fought the guy that everyone was scared of. Let me tell you something. People say that Deontay Wilder is technically sloppy. But you know what? I think he's technically great when it comes to knockouts. When it comes to knockouts and how to throw a punch correctly, Deontay Wilder knows how to throw that kind of punch that renders you unconscious. Joshua throws all the correct punches, but he don't knock people out the way Wilder knocks out. Are we going to turn around and say that Joshua is technically flawed? Because I think Joshua is technically flawed. I don't think Joshua punches the same way as Deontay Wilder. I think that Wilder punches through the target. Joshua punches at the target, and there's a difference. So when you're going to say that Wilder is technically flawed, well, I would say Joshua's also technically flawed. I think they're all technically flawed, personally. I think Wilder is okay. The only time Wilder gets wild is when he's got you hurt. That's when he abandons caution to the wind. But you could say Klitschko's another problem. Klitschko would never throw more than 2 or 3 punches in a combination unless he had you hurt. Klitschko never threw punches to the body. How many times have you seen Klitschko throw body shots? I don't hear anybody saying Klitschko is technically flawed. A lot of people say Klitschko is a genius. So I think we've got to put this technical thing into its context. You could say Muhammad Ali is flawed, the greatest. How many body shots have you seen Ali throw? I thought boxing was about punching body to head. So if you want to talk about being technically flawed, I think one thing Wilder gives us, he technically knows how to render a man unconscious. And if anybody wants to argue that, just look at his resume. Everybody he has fought, he has knocked out clean. And then if he does the same thing to Fury, then what will people say? Oh, well, Fury was not fit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear the excuses lined up. He wasn't fit. Fury wasn't good enough. Who was Fury's best? I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Because you all say at the moment, Fury should fight Wilder. So, okay. Don't want to hear the excuses. And I don't want to hear the excuses if Fury beats Wilder. I don't want to hear the excuses either. No, I don't want to hear the excuses. John Fury said Wilder is already beaten, but the Bronze Bomber is a different animal. No, he's a different animal. No, that stuff don't. I don't wear that stuff. This is true. Fury literally couldn't knock out a shit out. Just arrived. Fury versus White. Parker versus Wilder. King Kong versus Joshua. All right, nice. Fury hasn't fought anybody with the speed of power of a set of Deontay Wilder. I'm trying to tell him that, World Breaker. People wanting to believe that Fury has a chance. Full of shit. Well, Fury's got a chance because he's in the ring. So once he's in the ring against Wilder, he's got a chance to beat him. There's a percentage game of how much of a chance he's actually realistically got against Wilder. That hand speed's going to be a problem, and that movement. Oh, Fury's never been a puncher, but on form, he's hard to hit. Really? I saw Klitschko hit him. I saw Safa Fury hit him. I don't know what Fury you're looking at. I know Mayweather's hard to hit. I know Pernell Whitaker was hard to hit. I don't know about this Fury's being hard to hit. Fury isn't mentally ready. That's why he has yes men rather than Peter in his corner. He knows if Fury looks soft, weak, and in the shadow of himself. There you go. Too early for Fury. I agree. John Fury never had a knockout to his career. Maybe it's genetics. No version of Tyson Fury can beat Deontay Wilder. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree. Wilder's going to hurt Fury no matter how many fights. I can't believe how easily Pianeta landed on Fury. I keep telling you all that. You all don't want to listen. So you have to see for yourself. I genuinely think Amir Khan could go 12 rounds with Fury. Fury, right him off at your own peril. Not my peril, mate. You mean your peril, not my peril. They had no game plan tonight. He even was switching and moving in the wrong directions. He almost looked confused at times when he had him backed. When he had him backed, he actually looked lost. His punch man looks on par with Leon Spinks. Yes, his combination way off. Tyson needs a good dressing down and kick up the backside. Unfortunately, there's no one who's going to do this in his current setup. I said it. You heard me say. Do you think Nando's fiasco was staged? Well, what the hell was Billy Saunders and Deontay Wilder doing it with Nando's at the same time? It don't make no sense to me. Yes, it was 100% staged. Good point. From the moment Wilder invaded the press conference, LOL, of course it was staged. Why the hell they flew him over? Agreed. Loving his content, you're so objective. I try to be. Tyson is running on ego. He doesn't want to wait until he's fully fit. No, well, I said it. Yeah, call this. I've called this since 2017. And I said, I hope after 2 fights they do not stick him in a world title fight. I said, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they don't do that. And do you know what they'll do there? I'll tell you what will happen. If Tyson gets knocked out, they'll will Tyson back to fight Joshua. I'm telling you. You mark my words. They'll will him out to fight Joshua if he gets knocked out. Watch. He's only knocked one of his opponents clean. Thank you for addressing the hypocrisy regarding Ortiz. People shitted on King Kong after Wilder beat him, but White and AJ Energy will deduct him. That's it. But that tells you that's why now when people start talking that stuff to me about people calling people bums and stuff like that, I don't engage conversation with them. In fact, I like to delete them off my page because I know they know nothing about the sport of boxing, and it's people like that bring the sport of boxing down. They're the kind of people that have set like these goalposts. They'll say to you, "All right," and they're people. There's the sort of people in life you don't ever want to do business with, and you don't ever want to have as people you can trust. They're not trustworthy people. They're the kind of people that say to you, "If you do this for me, I'll pay you £100." And then you do it for them, and they say to you, "Well, okay, no, not quite that. I want you to actually do this for me. Okay, I want you to build me a tent." So this is them. £500. I'll give you £500. Example. I'll give you £500 a tent. Yeah, but if I give you £100, will you build me a tent? I say yeah. So I go and build you a tent. Then when I get to build you a tent, you tell me, "Well, no, I didn't want a tent. I actually wanted a hut. So your tent's okay, but I need a hut. But can I get the same amount for £100? What? Well, you just told me you wanted a tent. Now you want a hut. They say, "No, well, actually, I didn't want a hut. I wanted a mansion." But holding us £100, mate. So you keep changing the perimeters to suit your own hypocrisy and contradictions. The people like that you can't have a logical conversation with because you can never be right and you can never get justice with people like that because you talk to them and they always find an excuse. These people are not accountable. In fact, they're the worst people to get into relationships with because they don't take responsibility for their own actions. They're not they're not mature people, they're not logical people. So these kind of people that you have talking boxing, they shouldn't. You just run the next direction you hear them talking, because they don't bring up a logical debate. They're not even worthy of a logical debate. I'm not trying to talk down at people, but it is what it is. They don't come with a logical debate. They come up with all this bullshit conspiracy. Like they come up with stuff like, "Oh, well, Gennady Golovkin lets his opponents hit him. Not the fact that he's got a shit defense. He lets his opponents hit him." And here's the latest one. "Oh, Fury looks crap tonight because he was trying to lure Deontay Wilder into fight." Really? Wilder ain't scared of Fury and Fury ain't scared of Wilder. They're both good friends. I've told you this ample times. Again, you don't listen. But Fury and Joshua are not good friends. They are Not friends at all. Let's see what we've got here. I still believe half of Fury stays out of range and out points without a shadow of doubt. Mate, I don't know what you've been watching. I don't know what your TV screen was like tonight, yeah. But I saw Pianeta, 250 pounds or 60 pound Pianeta, slow as shit, right? Taking 2 steps, hitting Fury. And you've got Deontay Wilder, who's 215 pounds of lean muscle and pound for pound great punching power, and you're telling me that Fury's going to outpoint Wilder? On what planet? I don't get it. Spilker's 4-5 rounds up. Washington was 5 rounds up when Washington got KO'd. Ortiz tried. Listen. Is anybody here suggesting that Deontay Wilder's a boxer? I'm not. I'm suggesting to you he's a puncher fighter. He's not a boxer. He's a puncher fighter or puncher brawler. That is what Deontay Wilder is. He's raw, he's direct, and he's knocking people out. And it's working. Okay? So I don't want to hear nothing else. And by the way, when you talk about outpointing people, it reminds you of Cunningham, Steve Cunningham. What happened there? Fury's meant to try to outpoint him. What happened? Steve Cunningham dropped him, right? I don't get it. I don't understand this way of thinking. It don't make no sense. What Big John gonna say when Wilder renders Fury unconscious? Good question. Him Team Fury to pull off the impossible, as people say. Tyson Fury calls people bums all the time. That's up to Tyson Fury, but Tyson's tongue in cheek. If you know one thing, if you're a supposed Tyson Fury fan, and you're so up that man's ass, right? Then you should know he's just tongue in cheek. Tyson is just talking tongue in cheek. Tyson says a lot of things just to get the reaction of people. That's what makes him entertaining. That's it. He's tongue in cheek. Tyson won't realize until it's too late. He left Peter before he got back with him, as he was doing shit without him. He's not learned from the past. Ego is his downfall and fully deserved. Tyson deserves all the credit in the world for taking the fight and doing what AJ's afraid to do. I hope he gets paid well. If it's his last fight, guys, so make the most of it. It's a cash out. Sad day. I've said it. Yep. KO Kid. Wilder is taller, faster, more mobile than Pianeta. Let that sink in. Fury won't be able to stop him landing. This is my point. And I had a conversation the other day of how this fight will probably get sold. And I can see this fight being sold like Jerry Cooney against Larry Holmes. I've brought the comparison of that fight. We'll see. But for me, based on what I'm seeing under the Ben Davison era of Sefer Fury and now this guy here, what's his name? Pianeta. What was Wilder's last fight? Luis Ortiz, the most dangerous man on the planet. What was Wilder's fight before that? Was it Duhaupas? No, the Wilder's fight before that was Stavern. What was Wilder's fight before that? Was it Ariola or Duhaupas? I don't know. I wonder if Tyson calls himself a dosser afterwards. I don't know. I think Tyson should go with Booth. Would be a good fit. No, I don't. I don't think that's... Well, I thought it'd be a good fit. I don't think it's a good fit anymore. I don't think I think it's you could be with any trainer you want. It's got to be the mindset of the fighter, really. You're right. Raw or that he's wild. I can see Tyson being sharper, fitter, more in tune, and more mobile. Stick and move, so to speak. Wilder won't have a clue what's happening. Yeah, it's not then. You keep forgetting Wilder is a bronze medalist. You all keep forgetting. You talk all this stuff about Wilder technically, and I've talked about that technical stuff. I ain't heard nobody yet come back to me about this technical stuff. I hear everybody talking about he's technically wild and all that stuff. I don't hear anybody talking about Joshua not knocking all his opponents out. I don't hear nobody talking technically about that. And I also don't hear anybody talking about how Wilder is able to punch through the target. And people give no credit for that. Nor do they give him credit that he's a Olympic bronze medalist. They give Joshua credit for being a gold medalist. They give Klitschko credit for being a gold medalist. But they don't give Wilder credit for being a bronze medalist. But they say, well, Audley Howard was a bronze medalist, was a gold medalist. Hold on, James DeGale was a gold medalist as well, wasn't he? Tyrell Biggles was a gold medalist. He beat Lennox Lewis, didn't he? But that don't mean you're going to make a great pro. But those who are and do well and do things the right way, you see what happens. Audley Harris was a gold medalist, but you're not putting you say gold. Okay, this is the sort of thing that happens in boxing. Typical thing that sheep say. Audley Harrison was a gold medalist, yes, and he was unbeaten for 14 to 15 fights, if I'm correct, because my cousin Hazel Bruno Gilbert was the manager of Audley Harrison, which you didn't know that. Right? I can tell you a lot of stories about Audley Harrison, which I'm not going to let him tell you that story. There are a lot of stories I can tell you about Audley Harrison and how his career ended up the way it did. I can tell you lots of stories, right? But to sum Audley Harrison's career up in just a sentence, the fight when he was fighting Danny Williams, this was after my cousin left him, and that Danny Williams fight. Audley Harrison in his dressing room, you probably didn't know this, that Audley Harrison, his wife was doing his shoelaces up for him before the fight. She was actually tying up his boots for him before he was going to fight Danny Williams. Yes. So, you all talk about Audley Harrison, gold medalist. Audley Harrison could well have been world heavyweight champion. Audley did not take the steps necessary. He did not take the steps necessary to become world heavyweight champion. He did not make the sacrifices, and he could have made the sacrifices. Many people were around Audley that was advising Audley to make certain decisions where he didn't, and he ignored them, and that's why Audley's in the position he is. Right? But you all don't understand. You all just hear things from the outside. You don't do the research. I'll tell you about Audley Harrison. Audley Harrison, me and Audley used to go to the same college together. That's how well I know Audley Harrison. We used to sit. Audley used to sit right next to me, and I used to take his classes for him, right, down at Tottenham College. Yeah, Audley Harrison. So we used to sit next to one another all the time. And I used to tease him about Lennox Lewis all the time. Funny. I think Frank Warren's using Tyson to get a big fight for this channel. Should be telling the truth. AJ's gold medal was given to him. He did not win, in my opinion, and that's what I keep saying. Whereas Deontay Wilder is a bona fide bronze medalist. Bronze medalist at the Olympics. So I don't hear nothing more about AJ and the gold medal. Yes, he can hit you from the other side of the ring, granted. Fury for me, I hope I'm right. Still backing Warrington though. Fury should fight Ortiz before Wilder fight. Yeah, that'd been a good fight. The performance was nowhere where Fury needs to be. Fury needs at least another 9 months to have a chance of beating Wilder. If he wins in November, it'll be bigger than Dusseldorf. Yes, it will be. But the point is, going to Dusseldorf, he was prepared. it's Ugly Harrison fault that the BBC chucked boxing Hatton or Audley. That's another thing that is repeated by the. So you don't even know the behind the scenes about that situation, BBC either. Audley Harrison's reach was immense, over an inch longer than Fury, despite being 4 inches shorter at 6'5". Incredible, eh? Incredible. So yeah. So the truth being said is, Fury should be taking this fight in 2019. He's not. I believe it's a cash out fight. And why do I think it's a cash out fight? Because look at Billy Joe Saunders. Frank Warren is doing business with basically the devil. He's doing business with basically his hated rival. Okay. And he's got Billy Joe Saunders fighting Andrade. Would the best version of Audley beat Hay? The best version of Audley Harrison would be an Audley Harrison that actually turned up and trained and not cut corners. So Audley cut corners. That's not. I'm not making this up. This is fact. Audley cut corners. Fury deep down doesn't want to graft. That's why he is with Ben and not Peter. So from the get-go, you knew he wanted the easy route and cash out. That's what I've said. He wanted to cash out. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. It's about a cash out. What's the quickest route for me to get a world title shot? But if I stay with Hennessy, I could have to wait for ages. But go to Frank, I can get a deal that's quick. I can fight a couple of guys nobody cares about and then fight for a world title shot. And he knew he had a good relationship with Joshua. He knew with Wilder. He knew he had a good relationship with Wilder. So it's a cash out fight. It has to be cash out. Both guys are getting cashed out. Saunders and Fury. That's what I think. Any news on Fury's potential purse for Wilder fight? Why does it matter? You getting any of it? Audley has great jab. That's for sure. I'll give him that. Right. Yeah, I think that's about it. I haven't got much more to say. I'm looking forward to seeing Bright Jennings fight tonight. Don't forget, check out roundforroundboxing.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to check out 3kingsboxing.com. This is me from BWTM Sports. Thank you all for watching and listening. I sincerely hope the Gypsy King can turn it around and give us one of the greatest fights in heavyweight history. That's all from me. Take care.